Hello, hello. Episode 3, Season 2. Loose Gadgies. Every episode, those two fingers there, finger and thumb, on me glasses. First 30 seconds,
Was
always
it?
the same. Yeah.
That's bizarre because I'm getting in the habit.
Yeah.
For some reason, I wear these all the time, and for some reason, when I get here, I basically take them off and just put them next to me.
I've had that many phone calls lately.
Yeah,
Recruiters and you name it, right? Just looking for jobs and this and that and doing interviews. And I've just got this, when I'm talking really seriously on the phone about something, I'm like, oh. And I've got to put my glasses down and start walking around the room.
yeah,
Just got to take them off. I'm being serious. I'm taking my glasses off now.
that's
Oh,
it.
you've had it.
Yeah,
You've had it.
that's it.
Aye.
Just took them off.
Glasses are off. It's like the gloves, isn't it? The gloves
Yeah,
are off. The
the gloves
glasses are off.
Yeah, that's a good phrase. Yeah.
Speaking of which, small diversion. I saw a pretty good advert for Fury's up and coming fight. Although that was pretty funny. Have you seen it?
Well,
Or
the fight that's been postponed now.
oh, it's been postponed, is it? Oh.
Yeah, he cut his bloody eye in training, didn't he? But yeah, it was almost like a movie, wasn't it? I haven't seen it.
It was the transition from being in a western to being in like gladiators in a coliseum. I thought that'll cost them a bloody fortune, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
It was
but
like kind of cool, sort of funny. Like, look at that. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? You would.
Saudis are paying for it.
If you had the money, you'd do something that mental for a. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
boxing match, end of the day, but you would though, wouldn't you? With all that build up and yeah, play them characters, and of course he admits that he plays a character, doesn't he? So
of course he does.
they all do, yeah. Well, most of them do. Most of them do.
Yeah, whether you good cop, bad cop, blah blah.
So I've got one quick thing to say, something I'm sort of disappointed about, and then I've got my topic for the day. My topic of the day is it's all about loyalty. You know, loyalty to jobs, workplaces, and whatnot. Or loyalty to yourself, and is there a difference? But the first thing I want to mention is the state of the Tyne Bridge. Absolute state. I've been travelling north and south for all these job interviews, meetings, all of the website stuff I've been doing is all south of the Tyne. 4 different customers, and they're all south of the Tyne. Either South Shields, Sunderland, Gateshead, that kind of area. So I've been up and down, and it's just disappointing to see it turning sort of a rusty orange and paint flaking off. And it turns out, so our MP, or rather the one for the tune,
Yeah,
got up Prime Minister's questions and went, "Where's all this levelling up stuff and Northern Powerhouse and all of that? Where's the money?" So apparently they've got the money. That's good. Name and shame him on camera, get the cash. But it's going to take them 4 years to sort it out. 4 years. I mean, how long does the Forth Bridge take?
exactly. They start
I mean, I
that
know,
and finish it, don't they?
exactly. They just keep wrapping it around. But this, it's just been left. It's just, it's
It's the icon
all,
of this area.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Of any landmark, as much as they've tried to put other landmarks in,
yeah,
like that horrific Angel of the North.
yeah.
I've got one of them phobias about large objects like that. You know that I cannot look at it.
Australian
That-
icon as well. Same
yeah,
bridge.
yeah. We had the prototype over here.
Yeah,
They built it. They built the big one over there. So it's iconic. It's on everything. It makes me feel like I'm home when I see it.
definitely.
You know, when I've come back from somewhere. It's been emotional.
Yeah,
But with all of that in mind, and with all I've been doing about job searching and whatnot, it's a couple of things that you've got, a bits of advice you've given me over the last, I don't know, must be 3, 4, 5 months, easy. Just about loyalty and sticking to a job or sticking to a company. And it's not like it was. I mean, my dad was on the railway over 30 years, and in the end, they pushed him out. He wanted to stay a bit longer, saw an opportunity to step up again, And instead, they brought in a graduate who'd never worked on the railway. But he had this management degree. Told told him he couldn't have the job, but could he train this guy? And it was at that point my dad went, told for this. Told for this. If that's all I'm worth, stuff here. So he went and he took another job somewhere else in health and safety for about another year or two. Top up his private pension and whatnot. And then told the work life to get stuffed after that. After all he'd sort of committed, but even he's of a mind that that's just not the way things are done these days. That I've been very much a stability sort of person in the past, or I became that way. Growing up, I didn't stay anywhere. I say growing up, growing into my sort of career, I never stayed anywhere longer than 2 years, and then working in the contact centre lasted 4 years. The computer shop that lasted 4 years. Pandora, that was 4 and a bit. So it started extending out when I realised that I liked the people I was working with, or I felt comfortable where I was enough. But then you've sort of encouraged me to look at that difference. So when you are making a choice about where to go, which job to pick, if you've got more than one offer, or which thing to apply for, it shouldn't be, right, I'm going to work there, that's that. It should be, what do I need and how do I get it? Like, I need to live on this amount of money, right? Where can I get that? Where can I realistically apply for a job that's going to give me that? Right, how long do I fancy staying there? And you're one of the first, and there have been others since, to say, also stay 6 months if you hate it, find something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Really? I said, well, yeah, I even spoke to a couple of agents and said, does that not look a bit naff on your CV? Nope. No. It's not like it used to be. No, it doesn't. If you can prove that you can do what you do and you do it well, and you can say, look, that place just didn't fit. If anything, you can also see it as a positive that, look, I'm not going to stay somewhere because I know my own worth, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of a psychology change for me to see it from a more selfish perspective.
I think the problem is, Simon. I was discussing this with Anita on Friday. She was talking to some of her old work colleagues who had been in a company for, 30, 40 years, and if the company is what are companies in business to do? They're in business to make money. Mm-hmm. That's the primary objective. If they're making money, you're probably all right. If they're not making money and they need to let somebody go, somebody's leaving, and the business continues.
That was one of the things that changed me around, was if they want rid, they'll get rid.
Yeah.
Like, you might have 6 months notice, 3 months notice, blah, blah, blah. But if they want to find a reason for you to go, all of a sudden you're on performance management, or all of a sudden, it's... Yeah. They would be selfish with you in a moment's notice. If it financially suits them, it would happen. So why are you being so loyal to those things? That if you feel this isn't a good fit, then you should treat them the same way they would treat you. And I was thinking, why have I never thought of it that way? I've seen that happen. I've seen management do that.
Also, I think,
gradually work people
there's
out.
very few people in life would say that, it totally fulfilled me. Work totally fulfilled me. And when, we come down to the number one regret of people when they're dying is that they didn't spend enough time with their family. So when we come on our deathbed, none of those old work colleagues are around us saying, good luck on your next part of the journey. They're not there. And
good luck in the afterlife.
Yeah, good luck in the afterlife. They're not there. So those people, and it's brutal, they don't matter. We need something from them to be able to allow us to live the type of life we want.
It's been tricky for me to separate work and life. and to
Mm,
think of work or my job as part of my life, when actually, if you treated your job more like a commodity,
mm, yeah.
a thing that gets you money and gets you other things, you might be less stressed about the job that you do. You might be less stressed about the things you're being asked to do. All of that, maybe a lot of that goes away when you're like, oh, well, that doesn't really matter. And if I truly hate it, I'll go somewhere else.
I think the other thing that you've been through over the past last period, I remember when I was starting at Pandora and I'd been out of work for a while. I always used the phrase "it's cold out there." You know, when you can't afford the bills, you can't afford food,
Oh,
and you've
I've
been
heard
through a
you say that a few
period that
times.
has allowed you to reflect and work out. You actually just need the money, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
some people, work, career advancement, all of that is all is life. Like, no, I want to be one of these. I want to be at this level. I want to be running this and doing that. So, well, right, okay, that's good to have career goals. It is. I'm not saying you shouldn't,
no,
but as I said to you last time, that I've always had to leave one company to move up to the next.
yeah,
That's been true for as long as I remember. Even when moving into a team leader, I moved to one and went to the next. Wanted a manager, left one, went to the next. Wanted to become head of or more in charge, and left. Moved on to
we
the next.
we have to accept that we're slightly biased. I mean, you're moving towards your big 5-0 period in the next couple of years, and that has a totally different perspective on somebody that's in their mid to late 20s, doesn't it? So we're looking at the exit strategy, and they're still looking at the entry strategy.
True, but you should still be bothered about what you do with 8 hours of your day. Well, probably longer because you've got an hour's travel there and back or what have you. So you could be looking at anywhere between 8 to 12 hours of your day, depending on what your travel's involved in. And nobody ever, well, not everybody leaves work on time or arrives on the dot, right? So there's always that bit of wobble, and it bleeds into your life. Maybe somebody texts you when you're at home having your tea, and
Or we allow
did
it
you
to
check
bleed
that
into
thing?
our life.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, or like me, I used to get home and switch my laptop back on and
Yeah,
crack
yeah,
on because that's where I got me fulfillment. Writing some more code, finishing that thing,
yeah. And
and my hobbies went by the wayside.
you're in a. I think I might be being presumptuous, but you're doing stuff that you actually enjoy doing. It does create a level of stress, but you enjoy doing it. But remember, the task list is never ending. It doesn't end. So the quicker we finish something, the quicker we get something else off them.
Yeah.
So how much should we enjoy the journey of that task? A lot. We should enjoy the task, the journey. Otherwise, we're going to get something else very quickly. No. I'm fortunate enough at the minute. We've both been self-employed, and still are. We're working for ourselves, and that's about to change for you and for me a little bit in the next month or so, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not closing the company down. I still have a few. I say a few. I've got a number of customers I still look after, like with websites and
Yeah.
consulting with them and whatnot. And I want to make sure that now that I've got them in a safe place, I want them to continue to feel safe. So I don't mind leaving the company opening and continue to do some bits for them on the side, or even if it boils down to just me charging them for their hosting every year,
Mm.
and I don't do anything else for them. But knowing that they're not being ripped and that they don't have to go and find another IT guy for them is a feeling of security, and that they can they feel like they're in good hands, and I feel like I've met some good people, and it's given me some good contacts as well. So especially when it comes to tradespeople, I've got people I know I can rely on because I wouldn't have taken them on if I thought they were bad people.
Yeah, and
So
this is more about the relationship side of it.
it's
Yeah, and you know,
it's
if you need my help on anything, I just drop it and I just do it. There's no money consideration, and the same with the people that you're sort of doing bits for, it's not about the money. It's more about, it gives them help, doesn't it? It helps them out.
Yeah, and it's something it would be on my conscience if I couldn't,
Mm.
didn't have room to, or what have you. Like we've helped each other out a lot
Mm.
over the years, and
Yeah,
it's the
and
same as if Carl got stuck or Michael got stuck, any of them, we'd
it's,
we'd pitch in and
I
not
said
think
this
much
to
of it.
Anita on Friday. I like the phrase loyalty, but we have to be loyal to ourselves first.
Oh yeah, I mean, if a place, a company, what have you, stops serving you in some way, or
Mm.
or even adversely, and starts being a detriment, whether that's a, a friend, a job, or whatever it is, you need to be careful. You can't allow it to. And I've been very, very bad at that, at letting those things. These, because I either hold on tight or I don't care. And I've been getting the mix of when I should do that. Completely the wrong way around. Me being a
Yeah.
person of extremes. And I'm
Can you
better
imagine?
practiced at it, but sometimes it's still too easy to let go and or too hard
I
if I
almost
don't
feel
understand it.
for that situation, there should be like a list of 3 or 4 questions we have to ask ourselves, which drive us to the answer that are we putting our time in the right place? And that
You've been
asking
very
those.
good, mate. You've been good at that sort of stuff
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
course of this whole podcast. Just summing something up as two, three questions. Ask yourself this.
yeah. Just,
Ask yourself this.
yeah. Just and we know the answers, but we avoid them.
Isn't that part of the problem? Why you
Yeah.
won't leave a job? You're convinced that you're going to leave. Oh, me, I've got my friends at work. I'm going to leave. I'm going to really drop all them in it, and this stuff won't get done, and these customers won't get the thing. Is anyone going to die? Probably not.
No,
Probably
I
not.
mean the
That
other
that
thing.
report won't get ran, and I mean, I'm not saying they're on jobs where you might kill someone. There
Yeah.
are, of course there are, right? I mean, especially when you're going on strike.
Mm.
Mentioning no particular industry. Um, there might be a life and death thing, but for the most part, what's going to happen if you look for something else, happen to find something else, and you leave? Will you be replaced? Probably.
Yeah.
Will you
Things
find out which of those people really are your friends? Probably as well. Because
the
once you're
best.
not there, how
Yeah.
many of them still think about you?
The best you can hope for is a kind word if you're passing by that, oh, it was really good to
Mm.
have Simon here, and that's enough. Simon was great when he was here,
Mm.
but he's not here anymore.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than saying, "Oh, the last guy out here did that. It's rubbish."
Mm.
But even so, you're not there the way.
No, doesn't
You're not
concern
there,
me
so it doesn't
anymore.
matter. No, no, and some of the reasons for not leaving I've had in the past have just been bonkers. Especially when I've ran them by you and you've kind of looked at me like, really? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I see
And
what you
he,
mean.
and he said to me, she was
I
talking
see
about
what you
an
mean.
ex-colleague of hers who's been there at a company basically 40 years. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and that doesn't happen very often. And
No.
she'd asked her about loyalty,
Mm.
and but now she's thinking about leaving. Now, what does that tell an employer that somebody's been there for 40 years? Does that mean you'll find change difficult? So we're having this. I mean, it's another subject about
Yeah.
indoctrinated, and you know, uh,
That's the word I was looking for.
yeah,
That's the word I was looking for, especially in the public sector. And
mm, yeah.
feeling like you're part of this thing, and if you leave, well, it might cost this, and,
Well,
you know,
her company she was talking about, the ex company, they basically were positively discouraged from having any time off at the end of the month because it was the transactional part of the month. And it's like, what?
hmm?
A company can't survive. Yeah, you got me. You got me. I've got to ask this question.
Hmm.
So this company that you don't want to mention, the train strike. So this week there's an overtime ban, right? So we have to cancel trains because there's an overtime ban.
Hmm.
That to me says the company is understaffed, that they have to pay a premium rate to get drivers. To, and I was like, hold on. So we can't we can't
Without
run.
overtime, normal service doesn't run.
Yeah.
Normal service.
So they're paying premium rates to drivers rather than paying them standard rate and getting the right number of people in the organisation.
Ah,
And I
it's
was
pretty
like,
much it, isn't it? It's
anyway,
pretty much it.
yeah. So
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, Labour were talking about bringing the whole thing back into. So as each one of the contracts ends, they're not going to renew it, and they're just going to make it public. So
yeah,
we'll end up with a. I mean, it's just going to flip flop between public and private, isn't it? Each successive government's going to, yeah, since you privatised the thing, oh well, since you made this public. I think
yeah,
it's just because the whole thing just hasn't been looked at. The one thing we don't do right is we're we're not willing to look at an old system that's trying to work for a new civilization, a new country with more people in it, more cultures in it, more this, that, and the other. We're not willing to tear down an old institution and rebuild it for fit for purpose. We just keep clagging more stuff on it, throwing more money at it. No one wants to. No one has the guts to go. Do you know what? We're going to tear the whole thing down
yeah.
and we're going to restructure the entire thing. Ooh,
It's just not
especially
fit
when
for
it's seen
purpose.
as, yeah, especially when it's seen as a service.
Yeah.
I'd love me and you to just
Oh yeah.
do what we do best and go out and consult and just walk through the train service, the NHS, whatever it is, and just rip it to bits and say this doesn't work. I'm going through all the digital side. You're going through all of the processes and how all of these things work. Put together a report at the end and say, do you know how much money you're wasting?
Yeah.
Did you know what they're doing just on gloves alone, or just on this alone, or why you're technically at work from the moment you leave your door and the guy picks you up to take you to the train station to put you on the train. They get
Yeah.
driven to the station.
Are you
I mean, it seems like a cushy job to me, especially on 60 grand.
We're understaffed? Hold on. Are you just inefficient?
Yes. Yes, and are the schedules you've made, are they fit for purpose as well? Like, is 15 trains the right number for that particular service? Is every 20 minutes right for that particular service?
Yeah.
Etc., etc. Has anybody addressed that at any
Yeah.
point?
What's the
Actually measured it?
occupancy? What's the occupancy level of these trains? To say, well, that one every hour and that one every hour doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Run it
5
along.
trains of 2 coaches,
Yeah.
or 3 trains of 3 coaches. So,
You would
what's the volume like?
you would tear the crap out of the data, wouldn't you?
I'd love to play with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'd do the same with buses.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. But then so would you.
Yeah.
You'd imagine me just pulling all that stuff out and presenting you with some graphs and saying, have you seen the productivity and usage on here? I'm sure me and you would absolutely shit.
Yeah, but
saying that.
once every 3 weeks, the bus is full. What are you going to do then? What?
It'd be almost worth just having a button on the bus stop saying, just press this button if we need another bus, but otherwise you're only getting 5 of them.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I know there just needs to be more analysis, more data somewhere. What we got? Ooh,
Yeah.
23 minutes. Anyway, look. I guess my takeaway is I agree. I need to be a bit more self-serving and selfish. I need to be good at my job. But if at any point this feels like this is not for me, I need to stop stewing on it, which is exactly what I've done every other time, is stewed on it and went, no, I'll just, if you're saying the word just that many times, something's up.
Yeah.
Just get off your ass and go do something else and take care of you, because they'll bin you off the moment they don't need you. So why wouldn't you do the same? This is just a service you're providing and you're just a number on a spreadsheet somewhere. No, we're family. We're all family here. Nah. You'd be surprised at how many businesses say that. And the atmosphere is not like that at all.
Bollocks.
Certainly isn't in the boardroom,
No.
from my experience. Right, so, Mark, your next topic for Thursday, all about customer service.
It sort of flows in nicely in terms of the loyalty. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit of a loyalty week.
mm,
Yeah, your Gadgets loyalty card,
that's it.
and that you've got a couple of stories as well.
I
This
have.
should be interesting. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Right. So YouTube subscribe button, Apple follow button, Spotify followers are growing on there. That's nice. Comments, Insta, Facebook, drop a few. I mean, we're on Twitter, but I don't often look at Twitter because it's a cesspit. So until next week, take care.